Hi, this is Lauren Fogelman at ExpertSportsPerformance.com. Work with highly driven, motivated athletes on being cool, calm, and confident under pressure. Today's topic is why you get intimidated by the competition. Have you ever arrived at your event and began to check out the competition? You know who's the one to beat? And suddenly you see them as being stronger, more talented, and more confident than you? Suddenly, it begins to create a seed of doubt. That's when you begin to wonder about yourself. Maybe you question your warm-up, your game plan, and you think about making last-minute changes. Don't do that. Last-minute changes rarely ever work out in your favor. You planned a specific way to have a specific plan, stick with it. Because intimidation is really an inside job. But I'm going to talk about some of the ways that the opponents can intimidate you. The first one has to do with gestures. What are some of the things that they might do as far as movements, body language, that might throw off your game? There are certain gestures that are designed to throw you off, and they work if you're not feeling really strong, confident, and focused. After that, it might be an opponent stepping into your physical space. All of a sudden, they get in your first personal space. It's uncomfortable, and it's meant to throw you off. After that, how about those opponents that talk trash to you? They just make a side comment. They say something, and it just creates that seed of doubt for you and opens up some self-talk that you'd rather not be having at the moment. And then finally, it's the opponents that you know have a temper and some uncontrolled anger. Any of those things can throw you off. But there's also some ways to intimidate opponents that are on the positive end of good sportsmanship. That's when you have confidence, you're really strong, you're clear on your game plan, and it just oozes through you in your poise, your manner of speech, how you hold yourself. Another thing could be similar to what a pitcher does when he throws a fastball right inside the box, but close enough to the batter to throw them off guard. Pitchers do that all the time, but it's still within acceptable boundaries of good sportsmanship. I've seen a runner, and what his strategy was, after he's ran a couple of events, he'd go into another event, and he'd be jumping around right before getting into the starting block, hopping around, warming up, and his opponents are really tired. They've already ran a couple of events, and they're wondering, why does he have so much energy? And just seeing that would create a little bit of doubt for them and chip away at their confidence. And it worked for him over and over again. He was probably just as tired as they were, but he wasn't going to let that show because he had on his game face. Now, here's some tips to combat intimidation. The first one has to do with your routine. I want you to create a solid pre-performance mental game routine. What would that be for you to help you get really centered, focused on why you're here, what you're going to do, and your reason? After that, retain. Retain is to retain control over what you can control. And that has to do with only two things. It's your attitude and your actions. So keep control over the things within your abilities, your attitude and your actions. The rest, just let go. Next is remove. That means removing all judgment of how you see your opponents, but also how you feel about yourself. If you stick with what you have control over, your actions and your attitude, then it makes it a lot easier to remove that judgment. Next is redirect. I want you to become aware of when those critical thoughts start to come up and replace them with some positive ones. That means thinking ahead of time, What would be those positive thoughts that you would like to focus on once you become aware that you're in some negative headspace? Redirecting your energy on the positive, your strengths, and what you're here to do is a really good thing. And finally, recharge. I want you to find ways to boost your energy and confidence. What I teach my athletes to do, and I use for myself also, is the emotional freedom techniques. Because it's a way of clearing out the negativity and refocusing you on why you're here and what you're setting out to do. So if you're not familiar with the emotional freedom techniques, send me an email, lauren@expertsportsperformance.com. Let me know and I'll send you a video that shows you how to use it. Or there's a link to my blog on my website. So those are the things I want you to look at as to how you can stay in control when someone's trying to intimidate you so that it doesn't happen. But recognize that intimidation is an inside job. You can change your response to it when the opponents are trying to be able to chip away at your confidence. And here's my challenge. I want you to really shift from intimidation and judging and checking out the opponents to tightening up your pre-performance routine with some mindset strategies. What would that be for you that would help you to really improve your focus, reinforce your mission, and get you really present? Because those things do make a difference, and it's one of those things that's lacking from most athletes' pre-performance warm-up. They don't have a mental game strategy that they use. But giving that to you and putting it into your routine offers you that edge. So write a post, leave a comment as to what you took away, what you're going to build into your pre-performance routine to really tighten up your mental game. I'd really love to hear from you, and then click the Facebook likes button. If you're interested in my free video training series, 7 Essential Steps to High Performance, go to my website, expertsportsperformance.com, put your name and email address in the upper right-hand corner. You'll immediately receive the first of the video training series. My mission is to show you how to stay cool when the heat is on. Lauren Fogelman, expertsportsperformance.com.